blinking in the morning sun, blinking in the morning sun, shaking off the heavy one.
Channel. First of all, I hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving and ate a lot of food. I know I did, and had a nice restful day if you live in America. If you don't live in America, then you probably didn't have a very nice Thanksgiving, and it was hopefully you had a really good Thursday. But with that said, today of course is Black Friday, and you know what that means, another record store day. And really frankly, I always kind of toss and turn. Am I going to go to record store day or am I going to pass? So far, every single record store day I end up going, and I do enjoy it. I have a really good time. But this one probably more than any other, really, I didn't think there was that much that I wanted. And it is a pretty short stack for me, I suppose, but I ended up still spending a lot of money. And I guess it's just unavoidable once you're in a store for record store day for me. I end up buying things that I didn't intend to buy, and here we are again with that very same scenario. So without a lot of build-up and fanfare, I'm just going to get right into it now. Things I'm going to show you today, not everything is record store day related, but I'll go ahead and show you everything I picked up today. I went to 2 stores. First store today I went to, kind of did it backwards from the April record store day. In April I went to Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas first, and then I came back and went to Piranha Records in Round Rock, where I live, last. This year I did it backwards because, again, I wasn't really too concerned about what I got. I had purchased the 2 items I really wanted online already at great prices, so I wasn't too concerned, and I thought I'm just gonna go have fun, and it really turned out to be a good time. So I went to Piranha Records first. They open at 10 a.m. and then I went to Waterloo Records as an afterthought, really just because I wanted to see what they had that I may have missed at Piranha. But they had already been open for 2 hours, and I didn't expect to get too much there, but I've got a couple things and I'll show you that as well. So I think I'll show you the non-record store day items first. I got a few things that have nothing to do with this current record store day. First thing I'm going to show you is something I've really wanted since the last record store day, and Waterloo Records has had this copy ever since record store day, and it was $41, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I just can't do it. And I've passed it up probably 3 or 4 times, but it was a record store day item from April, and I really am pleased to add it to my collection and soundtrack collection now. I picked up the Andromeda strain, and this is, you have to open it with the cover. You know, this is one of those 6-piece, I don't even know what you call it, but this is what the original vinyl soundtrack looked like, and you have to open it from the flaps. And there is no other way to open it, but it's just really super cool, and it's really cool electronic music, one of the early electronic soundtracks, and I really wanted it on record store day, but I had too many other things on my list. It was $41, and every time I go to Waterloo Records I have it in my hands and I put it back, and today there wasn't a lot there that I really actually wanted, so I went ahead and bit the bullet. Look at this thing. I feel like I'm sitting in the sunshine, you know, getting a suntan, but it's so cool, and I'm really happy that I picked that up. So that was a big deal for me at Waterloo. Again, a couple other non-record store day releases. I never had pre-ordered the new Walk the Moon album. I think this is their 3rd full-length album, and it's called What If Nothing, and it's really quite nice. This is definitely the best of the vinyl I have of them. And Waterloo Records had the limited edition colored vinyl. This is on a purple marbly vinyl. Isn't that beautiful? It looks very beautiful. And frankly, I have not heard a single track off of this, so this is all new to me, but I like their other albums. And it was $22 for 2 LPs. The second LP is a solid white, and I thought, why not? You know, I'll get the new Walk the Moon. They're a bit pop, you know, in the vein of like Imagine Dragons and, you know, 1,000 other bands that sound like that, but I like them, and they sound pretty cool. And I've actually seen them live, and they put on a really good show. 2 other things I got out of the used bin at Waterloo Records. This would be good for you, Ross Goodall. This is the first record I've ever had from them, but I thought it'd be maybe a good place to start. It's the Small Faces live at the BBC, and I have a compilation on CD of the Small Faces that I quite like, and I thought this might be a good starting point, and it's in beautiful condition. I don't know when this came out. Well, it says 1965, but I'm sure that's not true. 2001 on Strange Fruit Records. So 2001, it is quite old, 16 years old. And it's really, really nice and beautiful, beautiful condition. So, yeah, I'm happy to have it. $14, and it's just a single LP and in beautiful condition. So, Small Faces live at the BBC. And then, as you may or may not know, I am a big collector of Ennio Morricone soundtracks. And at some point, I'm going to make a big video and show you everything I have from him, which is quite a lot now. And they had one in the used bin that I don't have, and I thought it'd be fun to add for $10. This is La Cage aux Folles, maybe more famous for, I think, a Broadway production, but this was a film soundtrack that he did in the 60s, I believe. Let's see if it says anything on here. Well, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper, but it looks like this is French. And I've never seen the film, and that's going to be a very common theme when I show you all my Ennio Morricone collection. 95 to 98% of them I've never seen, but I love his soundtrack work, and I think he's just really, really an amazing composer and musician and genius. So I'm very happy to add this one to my Ennio Morricone collection. So that was, well, two more things. I picked up 2 cassette tapes while I was there. One of them is Record Store Day related, but I'll get them out of the way. I picked up the Ryan Adams Prisoner. I have this, of course, on vinyl, and it's an amazing album. It's going to be high on my list for 2017 albums of the year. But this was a Record Store Day release on cassette tape, and I still like listening to cassettes, if you don't know that. I've recently purchased a very, very nice cassette deck, one of the very last ones that Pioneer made. And it's amazing because it transfers everything from analog to digital, and you hear absolutely no tape hiss whatsoever. You really can't tell if you're playing a CD or a cassette, I gotta be honest with you. It sounds amazing. Anyway, Record Store Day had that. That was, I think, the only cassette that they released on Record Store Day, but while I was in that section, I found this, and I have pre-ordered the vinyl, but it hasn't come in yet, and I've been kind of anxious to hear it, even though I hear really mixed to poor things about it. But the new Morrissey album, Low in High School, they have a cassette version of it. It had nothing to do with Record Store Day, but for $10, while I wait for my vinyl record to come, I thought I'd go ahead and get the cassette version of the new Morrissey album. So that's it. Yeah, that was Waterloo for the most part. I think there might be one other thing in there, but I'll get to it in a minute because it kind of makes sense with something else. But as you can see, there really wasn't any real reason to go there. I was really looking for one thing from my friend, and they ended up having that, so I'm glad that I can be able to ship that to him. So I think I'll just get right to my first stop at Piranha Records. Piranha Records is kind of a small record store, comparatively speaking, to Waterloo Records, of course, but they keep getting better and better. And I know the owners quite well. They know me, and you know, it's always nice to go into familiar faces and stuff. It's literally like 10 minutes up the street. So I did well. I was about 20th in line, even only getting there about 20 minutes before they opened, and I got almost everything I wanted there apart from one thing, and we'll get to that in a second. But and then some. I really had no intention of buying some of this, but I'll show you. They always are really good. They give you a gift bag. It's a record tote, and inside there's a bunch of swag. This is a Rhino Summer of Love keychain. Probably never use that, but it's nice, I guess. I got, and 2 I guess can coolers or beer cozies or whatever you want to call them, Rocktober. This is Live Loud Rocktober from Rhino Records, and this one is the Piranha Records turntable logo there, and their fish logo on the back, or piranha, I suppose you could say. But I like the store. It's quaint, it's close, and they really do have a pretty good selection. Oh, one more thing. This is interesting. I've heard a lot about these things, and I'll probably will fiddle with it. It is a fidget spinner. It's a Batman fidget spinner. This was part of their swag bag, and it says Piranha Records on the little circle there. So I have my very first fidget spinner, and it's the cool Batman logo, and it's from my local record store, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, those were the freebies. No free music this time, but with that said, I got quite a bit, and well, I'll just show you these first because these were kind of reasons I went. I wanted to get these for my friend. I had already ordered them for myself from good prices online, but we have such similar taste in some of the things we like that he wanted copies for himself. So I'll keep these, and when I get my online copies, I'll just forward it on to him. And the first thing is a picture disc from Game of Thrones. This is probably the most recent season, I think. And this is just samples of the full season 7 soundtrack, I think. It's called Ice and Fire, music from the HBO series, so it may be kind of a mixture of different seasons. I'm not 100% sure because I think I'd have to know the tracks a lot better. But look at that, isn't that cool? And we're both Game of Thrones collectors, so really cool to have 2 copies of that. One I can give to my friend as a gift, and one to keep for myself. So these will be my copies. And then this one, I really, honestly, as much as I wanted this, and I have one coming for myself, I almost had to say, wow, this is, you know, way more than I would ever pay for this item. But it is super cool. And it is the Baby Groot, I guess you could say 10-inch. I'm not sure. It's really just a little circle that actually plays music, but the rest of it is Baby Groot. And it's really, really super cool. It just has the Guardians Inferno mix and a song called DAD or Dad on the back on the B-side. So it's just 2 little tracks, but it's such a cool collectible item for Guardians of the Galaxy fans that I just went ahead and said, okay, for Christmas for my friend, I'll get it for him. But look at the price of that thing, $30, and you get virtually no music. So it is truly for the Guardians fans, but I will say it is really super cool, and I'm glad I got 2 copies of it, one for me and one as a Christmas present for my friend. So he'll really enjoy it, and I'll enjoy having it as part of my Guardians of the Galaxy collection. Okay, on to some music now. This was not on my list. I didn't intend to buy it, but I'm glad I did because I am a fan. And I'm a fan of this whole style, this whole genre of music. This is Ravi Shankar, and this is a first time, I think. Let me just read it here. Vinyl replica collector's edition, limited to 2,000 copies worldwide. It's called Portrait of Genius, and I'm not sure if this is just a compilation or if it's an original album. Original album cover, inner paper sleeve, mixed opaque purple vinyl. And I actually thought, well, wait a minute, it's not purple vinyl because it's very dark, but it is purple vinyl. And I'll see if the camera will pick it up. Oh yeah, it's actually better on camera. With a bit of light here, you can see that it's purple with some blue in it, and it's quite pretty. So it's actually really nice. But from my, my angle here, it looks black. But yeah, with some light on it, it's beautiful. So more importantly, the music. This is my first Ravi Shankar album on vinyl. And I always look for him in the used bins, but believe it or not, it's not common to find his records. And when I do find one occasionally, they're really trashed. So I wanted to have this, and it wasn't on my list, but when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's worth $23 to me. So I'm really glad I picked that up. This one I probably could have lived without, but this is purely for the collection. I may not even open it. The new U2 single, The Blackout. Is it The Blackout? Yeah, The Blackout. And there's a mix on the second side. Nothing fancy about it. No picture sleeve. Black vinyl. 1-track single with a remix on the B-side. Maybe I should have just skipped that altogether, but I got the other record store day items from U2, so I thought, well, okay. Nothing exciting there, though, really. Now, this is pretty cool. This was not on my list, but I knew it was out there, and I thought, well, if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and get it. Well, I ended up getting excited about it when I saw it, and going ahead and got it. It's absolutely live from the Doors. And for you Doors fans, they did an amazing job. I haven't heard it yet because I literally just got home. But this is really, really thick card. As you can see, I mean, maybe you could even hear that little creak when it opened. This is definitely something that feels like it came right out of the early 70s. And it's on a beautiful, I'll just show you here real quick. transparent blue vinyl with the original Electra labels from the era. And it looks like they've done a really, really nice job with audiophile quality, pressed on 2 LPs, and really thick, sturdy card, and you know, transparent blue vinyl. Yeah, this was worth it for me, so I'm really glad I picked that up. Look forward to hearing that. And this was the real reason I went, because I had not got a copy of this online, but I said, if they have it in the store, I'll buy it. And they did. And I'm really glad. I think I got lucky, because when I went to Waterloo later, they were sold out of this. So I have a feeling some people may be disappointed that they didn't get it. But this is a Record Store Day first, so I think that there will be a second pressing of this. And it's, in my opinion, one of his very best albums, Neil Young, Harvest Moon. And this one I can show to my friend Sam, because I know he's a massive Neil Young fan. And this is the first time this has ever been on vinyl in the US. And I love this album. This was a sequel, more or less, to Harvest, his most famous album, I suppose. And when this came out, I really wasn't much into Neil Young, to be honest. But I love this album, and it was a CD that I went to often. And it just has a really, really cool feel to it. And it's just deep, personal, emotional, and beautiful album. So anyway, I'm really, really happy to have snagged a copy of that. $25. I really thought that's reasonable for the first time on vinyl, 2 LPs. I think there may be an etching on the D side. I haven't opened it yet because I want to try to save the stickers. And anyway, I can show it to you later on Instagram if you want to see it there. But really, really, that's the reason I went. This will end up going to a friend. He's going to pay me for it, but he didn't get it. So they had a copy at my store, and I've got a copy coming, and I'll keep this one, and he can have the sealed one because I want to show you the record. This one I had to have. I absolutely had to have. I have an original copy of this, believe it or not, and it's super, super hard to find. But I did want the Record Store Day copy because I can play this till the grooves wear out, and I don't have to worry about it. And this is an album I play a lot. Sunday is Static and Silence. This is the second Record Store Day release here. This past Record Store Day, they did Blind on a brown vinyl, and this one is on a clear vinyl. The only complaint I have with these really is they didn't put a lot of love into it. You know, when I heard Blind, the original copy sounds so much better, and I probably would say that it's going to be the same thing here because it just doesn't feel, I mean, like, you know, if you buy a lot of records, you can kind of feel and see when the quality is going to be really good. And frankly, I don't know if this is going to be any better than the Blind copy. And I kind of compare it to like the Concrete Blonde reissues, where yeah, it's nice to have some of those on vinyl now that were getting hard to find, and this was impossible to find, so I'm sure a lot of people wanted this one. There's only 2,000 copies of this worldwide, and there's no Record Store Day sticker, there's no download code, there's no insert, there's no information, there's no inner sleeve. It's like, if you're going to do something, let's do it first quality. I mean, that's my complaint side, you know, I'm happy to have it, and, you know, probably there's going to be people that said, oh, you're so lucky, you know, I wanted that and couldn't get it. And I got 2, you know, and one I'm going to give to my friend. But, you know, I just am the proponent, you know, I'm in the school that if you're going to do something, put an extra $5, $6, $7, $8 into it, make it something nice. Make it audiophile quality. Give it a lined inner sleeve at least. Give me an insert with some lyrics or something. And you know, it's just very poorly done. So hopefully it'll sound better than Blind, and I'll shut up about it. But very, very excited still to hear it and have it and have a playing copy. But the original, you can't beat an original, and those are really, really rare. So I'm fortunate to have that. Now, I have one big item left to show you, and this was not in plan. Almost always when this is about the 10th Record Store Day release that this artist has given us, and I always miss them because they sell out almost before I can even get through the door. But for whatever reason, I think the Record Store Day gods were in my favor today because this is the one I really wanted. And I almost, you know, I didn't put on my list because I never can get his stuff. It's like, you know, there's people that camp out overnight for it, and it's like, unless you do that, which I refuse to do, You're just not going to get it. And they had one copy when it was my turn to get to that section. I'm like, I'll take it. And I'm really, really happy because this is a beautiful, absolutely one of my all-time favorite live recordings ever from the Dave Matthews Band with Tim Reynolds live at Luther College. And I have played this CD so many times through the years. This is really what got me into Dave Matthews. I was only just mildly into him, but this is such a good duo recording. You know, they really play off each other so well. And I don't even know where Luther College is, but this is really, really, really nice. And it was expensive. I can't lie, $85. But it's pressed on 4 LPs. It was a long album to begin with. I think the original CD was 2 CDs. Yes, it was. So I knew it would be long, but they did a really nice job. As I was complaining about the Sundays, this one is just the opposite. I'd rather pay for something that's worth it. You know, if I'm going to put $85 into something, or $25 into something, or $35 into something, give me quality. This looks like quality. I'll just show you the first sleeve here. This is side A and B, and inside you get another sleeve. And they're all pressed. I'm going to show you one because they're all the same, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Very, very, very nice. And you can just feel it. You can feel it and look at the quality and see the grooves and say, okay, this is going to sound better. You know, I don't know. I've gotten to the point now where you can almost look at a record and say, that's not a good pressing. And these are nice and lined, as you can see. And, you know, it's kind of like a double jacket. And they all sit in this very nice thick card box, and for me, yeah, that's worth $85. I'll stop. Side C and D, that's Tim Reynolds there, and kind of a silhouette there of Dave Matthews. And then we've got Mr. Dave Matthews here, side E and F, and again all the records are the same. And then we've got side G and H. Very cool photo there, I really like that. So I'm just over the moon because even though I have none of the other Live at Red Rocks, which I wanted so badly, and a lot of his other first time ever on vinyl record store day stuff, I've never got any of it because, again, it's impossible. This one I got, and I couldn't be happier because this is the one I would have really wanted, and I probably would have paid a lot more for it, online even, so I don't have to do that now. And that's it. That is the sum of my record store day, but I think I did well. I got a few things that were off my list. I got a few things out of the used bin, got a few cassettes, got a bit of swag, and I pretty much got everything on my list. So no complaints from me. Another successful record store day. So I hope you guys also had a great record store day. Support your local record stores. Always, always, always. Not just on record store day, but whenever you can get to a record store, you know, try to spend as much money as you can in there and not so much on the online shopping. I'm guilty of it myself because I buy a lot of stuff, but I do still spend quite a lot of my money gets spread out pretty fairly across the board between the local stores here and online, and I buy it direct from you know, the artists' websites as often as I can. So anyway, enough from me. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. Don't go broke, and we'll see you next time for another video. Take care. Bye for now.
On this harvest moon.